On Monday, we talked about the kinds of books that you've been reading and the kinds of things that you're really looking forward to learning about. And it seems like a really good time to spend some time thinking about nonfiction books, right? Because we've been doing a lot of reading of stories, right? But now we want to think about reading some nonfiction books. So I had some questions for you, okay? Can you tell me the difference between fiction and nonfiction?
That they're both different because one is real and one is not, like fake.
Yeah, so usually when we talk about fiction, we talk about stories that are made up, right? That people invent, they create the stories, right? And when we think about nonfiction, we're thinking about real facts about the world that we live in and things that are true, right?
Yeah, like those books.
Like these books here. But what's your job when you're reading nonfiction books?
Yeah, to point at the letter, then move it with, and if you make a mistake, you go back and read it again.
So you're thinking about awesome strategies to help you understand the book, right? Like tracking and rereading. Those are great strategies from reading fiction books that you can still use in nonfiction. So I'm really glad that you brought them up. I brought a magnifying glass with me today. You want to know why?
Why?
Because when I read nonfiction books, I think about being a detective. You know what a detective is?
And you use them for finding stuff?
Yeah, and you know what I call that stuff that you use it to find? Clues.
Yeah.
Right? Detectives use a magnifying glass to look for clues. You ready to get started? Awesome. Let's look for some clues. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at this book. It's called The Coldest Places, right? It's all about the coldest places on the planet Earth. I'm going to show you the different strategies that I use when I first look at a new nonfiction book that I've never read before. Okay? And in particular, we're going to look at special parts of the book that we can always look to help us understand what nonfiction books are all about. Okay? The first thing that I look at is the cover of the book, right? And usually the cover has pictures, and what's this on the top?
Letters.
Letters. And do you know what it's called when you see the letters here on the top of the front cover of the book? I'll give you a clue.
Title.
Yeah, it's the title, right? What does the title tell us?
Like, it's about the book, like what it's about.
It tells us a little bit about what the book might be about. The next clue that I look at is right inside the front cover. Have you ever seen a page that looked like this before? Do you know what it's called? If you want a clue, you can look here. That's what our cards are for today. It's a
table of contents.
Table of contents. Really nice job sounding out that last word. What kind of information or what kind of clues can you find in the table of contents?
It shows you like whereas like what if you want to learn like where's the cold water? You go to 2.
You go to page 2?
Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. You're showing me that you understand the table of contents. Can we say that together? It's a really hard phrase to say. Ready? Go for it.
Table of contents.
That time you nailed it. You didn't even need my help. That was beautiful. Okay, so I look at the cover and the title. I open and look at the table of contents, and I read these words that you started to read. Do you know what the special name for each of these is? These are called headings, because each of these headings shows up at the top of the pages, right?
Yeah.
And the headings, that's our next place to look for clues.
Those are the ones that tell us what it's about.
They tell us what the page is about. High five. Fantastic. The last place that I'm going to go to look for clues is at the very back of the book. Do you know what this page is called?
Go.
You can try and sound it out. You want to try and type it out? It's a super hard word. Glossary. Glossary. Beautiful. I love that. What can you tell me about the glossary?
It's like, I don't remember the grade. I would try.
Awesome. That's all I ever ask.
That's where, like, it tells you more details, like pictures, and it shows you words, like, it shows you the pictures, and then it sees a word, like next to it, like what's in there, and what is it called? Like
Awesome. Really nice. So, you told me lots of important information there, and I'm going to repeat it back to you in my own words, okay? You're telling me that you can look in the glossary to see special words and pictures that help you understand those words, right?
Yeah.
So the glossary helps you understand some of the important vocabulary, the really important words in the book, all by yourself, right? Because it has the pictures. So you see the word island, and you think, what does that mean? What's an island? Well, there's a picture to help you understand what that word means, right? Or if you're having a hard time sounding it out, you might be able to guess after you look at the picture. So the glossary it's awesome to look at the glossary before you even start a book, because it helps you get familiar. It helps you start to know those words so that you're not so surprised by them when they show up in the book. Okay? So we looked at the title, table of contents. You can read it with me if you want. The headings, and
Glossary.
the glossary. Now it's your turn. You want to use the magnifying glass? Awesome. And you're going to be looking at a book called
Life in Hot Places.
Life in Hot Places. I chose this book for
This
you.
is cold and this is hot.
Exactly. So we're gonna take a look at both of these books, but I thought we would look at Life in Hot Places first because it has been so hot at school lately, right? Remember last week it was like 100 degrees every day.
And then it's gonna be cold now.
And now it's getting a little colder. So we're going to read about the hot places in the world, and we're going to read about the cold places. And we're going to think about how we have hot places in our lives, right? And we have cold places in our lives sometimes too. So we can relate to these books. All right, detective, you can get started. I would like for you to show me the different places that you can look for clues when you look at a nonfiction book. And if you're having a hard time remembering all the places, you can use our cards to help you.
Do I read it?
So we don't need to read the whole book. What I want you to do is kind of go on like a book tour, okay?
Okay.
Just like when you do a picture tour, except now we're trying to use these things too to help us understand the book. So which of these do you think you should look for first? What was the first thing I looked for when I was looking at the coldest places?
The
What is that?
title.
Awesome. What's the title of your book?
Life in Hot Places.
Awesome. And what do you see in the picture?
Like all sand.
Lots and lots of sand, right? Do you know the word for a place like this? When there's
Desert.
nothing? Yeah, desert. Right. So do you think we might be learning about deserts in this book?
Maybe.
Maybe. You think they might be hot places? I think they might be. Awesome.
Okay.
What can you look at next?
Then we look at the. No, wait. Table for contents. And then after the table
And
of contents.
tell me what you can find in the table of contents.
Hot places.
Mm-hmm.
Grapes.
Do you want to try and tap it out?
Desert.
Say it one more time.
Desert.
Desert. Yep, that's
Desert.
that word you were just talking about, right?
Desert people. Desert animal. Desert places and
Mm-hmm.
rain.
Tap it out.
Rain. Rainfit.
Rain
Forested.
for
Est.
rainforest. Put it all together.
Rainforest.
Rainforest. Beautiful.
People.
Do you remember what the special word that I called each of these? If you're not sure, look at our cards.
Hey.
Headings. Yeah, these are all headings. So where else can you find these words in the book? Can you show me?
Here.
Beautiful. I love how you're using the magnifying glass to frame it so nicely. So that heading says
Hot places.
hot places. That's right. Find another heading.
This one.
Yeah, that's a tricky word again. What is that?
Desert.
Nice.
Place.
Oh, one more time. Let's read really carefully.
No. Desert. Place. Places.
Tap it out if you need to.
Desert. Plant.
Awesome. Desert plants. So what do you think this page is about if the heading says desert
Plants?
plants? Yeah, all the different plants that live in the desert, right? We have one more important place to look for clues. Which one have we not tried yet?
Glossary.
Beautiful. And what can you tell me about the glossary? How does it help you?
It helps us with the, like, tells us, like, that if you don't know the word and you could look at the picture, now you're gonna know. And then if you don't know what is the picture, then you can look at the word.
Fantastic. Do you feel like you're ready to start reading this book? I think you are. Let's get to it.